Hi, this is Diane Greco-Allen. I'm your food relationship coach and pain management specialist. I am working on today going over some of the things we might have learned in science class. And I want to turn on your internal biochemist because you are a biochemist naturally, you just don't know it. And so our bodies talk to us about biochemistry, and it's all about our chemistries inside of our body and what's going on. So I just want to say stop the presses because some things were going off in my mind last night and I had to just take everything in. And you know how you have one of those moments where, it's just clicking, everything's clicking, and it makes sense. It all just makes sense. So I do a food family safety program and beyond because it's not just about foods, but it's beyond the foods and everything that we're surrounded with. But one of the things I wanted to mention today was I just started thinking about heavy metals and how they accumulate in the body and what they're associated to. Now, they recently have found Lumi bodies associated to Alzheimer's and dementia. And these Lumi bodies are also associated to high aluminum levels, high iron levels, and copper. Okay, so where are these things? Why are we getting overdosed with some of these types of heavy metals? Well, aluminum, of course, is in our cookware and in foils and some of the foil pans and a lot of things that we've been exposed to that have aluminum in them for a long period of time. Over time, using them, cooking with them gets into our foods and then we ingest it. Okay, so that's one way of getting your food contaminated with aluminum. Copper and iron. There are different ways that these things can happen. Could it be the cooking product or process? Could it be that those heavy pans that we love, those cast iron pans, can cause issues? I'm going to say just be wise about how often you do that and use those. But there's also, you have to think about the foods you're eating and which foods contain iron. Why do these foods contain iron? A lot of the foods come from the earth, all right? And so you're talking about, again, all these different things that we talk about in chemistry and in science that are connected to our body, how our body handles it, and then what happens if we're overexposed with these types of heavy metals. Now, I want you to think about what's in your house. I accessed a few little things, and I can put up some information for references where I got all this information. But lead, cadmium, these things that we started seeing, they changed all the pipes from lead to copper, and then they used some of the plastic pipes because they were causing problems. And if you think about the people that came to America and maybe that lived in Europe, and some of those people that traveled here were dealing with some of these issues, and they lead to neurodegenerative diseases. Not only neurodegenerative diseases, they lead to, if you think about heavy metals, I want you to think about just carrying a bag of heavy metals on your back because your body gets weighed down with some of these, and then it stops the function of what you're supposed to be doing. So you might get arthritis or terrible muscle pain, or you're having migraines that are crazy. Now, there's a lot of other things I want you to think about. Products that you're using that contain some of these heavy metals. For women, you might be using some kind of IUD that has a heavy metal in it, and that over time it delivers this into your system. And then you want to think about what you had put in your teeth, because they know that some of these things that we had done to our teeth early on have leaked into our bodies and have affected us, especially when you're thinking about mercury. And so they know that tuna carries mercury. Now, when you think about all animals and fish, the longer they are living, the greater chance that they're going to have maybe some kind of heavy metal in their body. But because they deposit in all the tissues of the body, especially the brain and the liver, these things can really cause some issues in the human body. All right. So when you're eating an aged cow, you might be eating a lot of heavy metals. All right. Not only high iron, but you might be eating some heavy metals. That fat, it deposits in the fat. So lead, cadmium, they found those were found in soft tissue, nervous system, immune system, brain fat cells, causes inflammation, neurological issues, and impairs immunity. Okay, now I'm going to put up these references because there are multiple references from where I got this. Then last night, I was thinking about our treasury system. How did that come about? And when you think about the Bible and what the Bible had, the information that was in the Bible, a lot of people get very emotional because it is a spiritual book. Okay, yeah, but there were some other hints about how to be safe and how to live your life carefully. And if you think about the Stoics in the past and how they lived their life, you want to know, what you are exposing yourself to and how to respect the body and understand how to respect your organs, your mind, and be, give yourself that love that you need to give it. And sometimes that love is inside your heart. Now, there's a chakra or chakra system that there has been from the eastern side of medicine that aligns with the endocrine system, the throat chakra, where your thyroid is and your parathyroids. But also this is about voice. Okay, so we're putting some kind of, support about speaking, what you're delivering, and how to manage some of these emotions that we sometimes get all riled up with. And believe it or not, if you're imbalanced in any of these minerals and elements, you can get some hyperstimulation. And so that I would say that's neurotoxicity, okay, neuroexcitability. And some of those neurotoxins are just all over the place. And think about when you go to clean something that's really dirty, like a dirty carpet, and you're just scrubbing it and all that dust that flies out. Well, that's what happens in the body. So, it starts flying around in your bloodstream. And then if you're not able to eliminate it in a manageable way, then that's where you will have a lot of this excitability, and it leads to anxiety in the body. All right. So the other part of heavy metals, I have not found any sources. And if you do find a source, please share it with me that says that you will have elevations in heavy metals when you are more dehydrated. Now, it makes sense to me that could be a possibility that you would have higher elevations of these levels, but there is some validity around blood sugars being elevated when you're dehydrated. Some of these contents in your blood can be they show up. Your dehydration leads to a more condensed form of whatever fluid's in there. Now, if your volume is either low or too high, and you're drinking a lot of fluids, and you're taking in a lot of sodium, and all these products that are causing maybe too much volume, then you can have some circulatory issues, and also put stress on your circulatory system and your heart. Okay, so you don't want to stress those organs I remember eating a can of soup with all that sodium in it and getting that sodium sort of high. It was like a buzz or something. You're just so content. You're just like there in a coma. It's almost like a sugar coma. So, when your body's trying to process all these things, and that leads to brain function, processing delays, gut function, absorption, and some other connections. There's connections to some of the medicines when we were young children that when you took an iron supplement, you do not take it with dairy. Well, why is that? Why don't we take it with dairy? Because it doesn't get absorbed, right? So then we're talking about why these things are occurring. And then cod liver oil when you have anemia. Why do you need cod liver oil? If somebody told you to take it. Those oils are very important, and that goes along with the amino acids and the fats that we need that are good fats. And I'm not going to talk about that. That's in another video. But today, I want to talk about those heavy metals. Where are they? Where are these heavy metals? So they say I accessed some references. Like I said, I'll share that below. Electronics. So your electronics have heavy metals in them. There's copper inside this computer, silver maybe, aluminum, tin. I don't know what they put in there. Coins. We use coins from the Treasury Department, right? There's multiple types of metals in your change. And if you think about it, originally nickel, I believe, was called nickel because it was nickel. And a penny actually has now zinc and copper, but it used to be just all copper. And they use copper for wiring, for electricity and conductivity. And then you got to think about that with your heart and your body, because our energy fields and all that electrical energy in our heart that starts from the atrium down to the ventricles, there's got to be something that's going. The conductivity has to be right. And that includes not only the electrolytes, includes the minerals, and also the different types of elements that we're talking about. There's got to be a good natural way that these are working, in also for the serotonin, dopamine, and all those receptors, they have to be working properly. Not the neuro type of electrolyte environment, I want to say, from everything that we're exposed to. Okay, so the other heavy metals can be found in medicine. So they give lithium to some of the people in the mental health field. And why are we giving lithium? Lithium is on here, correct? They have also found that heavy smokers have excesses in some of these heavy metals. And when you think about it, these neurotoxins can build up and cause so many problems with our thinking and that fuzzy brain syndrome. Your liver's trying to function, your kidneys are trying to function, they're trying to detoxify your body. Then we're talking also about another type of reaction that might be going on at the same time, which is a Herxheimer's reaction, where the body is trying to break down old cells and maybe eliminate some of those bacterial remnants or those old cells, because you're going through a cell cycle, organ cycles. Everything is changing over, and it's occurring every day. So you're a biochemist inside, okay, and your body's trying to regulate some of this, what you're putting in. Sugar really just destabilizes your immune system. It destabilizes a lot of things in the body because it just makes it harder for your body to function. And not only sugar, a lot of the processed foods, a lot of the fats, the oils that have been taken from, the animals, like I said, if they're an aged animal, there's a greater chance that you're going to have either heavy metals or some contaminants in that, along with proteins. Okay, so you've been exposed to cow products most of your life with dairy that come from cow. And there's whey, casein, and lactose. So, those things come along too. But what you have to think about also is poultry comes from eggs. So now they're putting duck eggs out. They're putting all kinds of different eggs. It's really tricky to understand that, yes, we are eating animals. Okay, we are eating animals. Now, if that's spiritually against your religion or your spiritual person, then there is a way to eat plant-based foods. If you eat in moderation some of these and switch things up, you can get a better absorption rate and usage for cartilage, for growth of muscle, for brain health. Some people may have been born growing very slowly, and then if you start eating healthier, your brain is probably going to start working a little bit better. So if you eat healthier and your brain starts working, you might be building, okay, going through a healing process. Now, you can go through the Herxheimer's reaction where things are breaking down very quickly and your body can't keep up with all that breakdown, has trouble detoxifying. Or you could also be dealing with a healing crisis where your body's rebuilding. And that is where sleep comes into play. So rest and sleep have to come into play with everything that is going around us and everything that we consume. And think about what you're touching every day. Some people are touching a lot of metals. I just never thought of quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies, the silver dollar, because silver was used for medicinal purposes for eyes. Okay, all these products, they were given to us automatically. They were placed on Earth, and the chemist or the biochemist that we are, we just have to know what dosages our bodies need. And sometimes you need assistance with that because it's really tricky to understand what's going on. Well, is it this? Is it too much calcium? Is it too much chloride, too much fluoride? Which way and what's causing some of this? So you want to think about all the different things that are happening around you, the chemical dumping into the ground or into your water system. Know what your pH levels are in your water system, and then just stay connected to some of the, and NIH also has said that some of these heavy metals in the body can reduce your absorption, breakdown in the enzymes that are helpful for your absorption and breakdown of food and to help your brain get food in your organs. So think about what heavy metals. Today I'm wearing silver and gold because at Christmas we used to sing silver and gold, right? So think about how what you're wearing, jewelry, what do you have in your ears? Now, fake stuff can cause some issues, but if you're having, some things going wrong with you're noticing some irritation and agitation, it might not just be this, it might be something else going on in your body. And that's where a functional nutrition counselor and a functional medicine health coach or practitioner can help you to understand what is out of balance, what's causing the imbalance. So come to someone for questions, or you may want to share what you know, because I know a lot of people in the military are very bright on this subject. A lot of people that are in teaching in classrooms are very bright if they've gone through chemistry or biochem, or someone who just basic science. Some of these things. And what's really important is to understand that our bodies can only tolerate so much. Diane Greco-Allen, food relationship coach. This is all about heavy metals, detoxification, your change, your jewelry, what you're surrounded with. And remember, electricity affects you. So if you're around a lot of electricity at night, you may not be sleeping well for a reason. So we can talk about that too. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel, ring my bell, and make sure that you get more videos on what's going on in your body and how you can be your best biochemist. Diane Greco-Allen, thanks.